Here at The Rock, Jackson Kennedy, Dima, Mixon, you're at the 4th Street Sports Show. Billy Wiles, first collegiate start against Alcorn State as he leads the Southern Miss to victory 40-14. Jackson, what was Billy Wiles' stat line tonight?
You know what? I'm going to read you the numbers, but first I'll just tell you a word. Awesome. As a Southern Miss fan...
We're going to grade him in a minute. What was the stats?
Well, look, I'm just saying, as a Southern Miss fan, seeing this after however many years of quarterback play that's been questionable or upsetting, or you don't know who's going to come in and having 12 to 15 a year, having this guy and having this performance makes you go, oh, you've got yourself your guy. But number-wise, and not just me pontificating, you like that word, don't you?
I do.
So Billy Wiles was 21 of 28 with only 1 interception. He had 257 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, was sacked twice, and had the longest pass to Latrell Jones for 38 yards. If you're reading this, you haven't seen a stat line like this in a while, and I know that you're thinking this is against an FCS team. This is against a SWAC team. I've said it in the last video. Will Hall said it in his post-game presser, and we're going to speak more on it on our post-game podcast, which will be going up later tonight. You can check this out whenever you're watching it. This was not a SWAC team. This was a team that's going to, in my opinion, I think they're going to easily win the SWAC. They were domineering. They were very powerful. This is a low to mid-tier Sun Belt team that could contend with a couple teams in the Sun Belt, and they contended with Southern Miss for a good bit of this game. Billy Wiles looked great. And as we said on our instant reactions video, it was harder to run the ball than pass the ball because Alcorn just kept running blitz packages. But what that meant was there's less guys back there to cover these wide receivers that we've been saying since camp are very good. If you have not been out in the Rock, or if you have not watched this game yourself on ESPN+, these wide receivers, Dima, are good.
Yes.
And so every single time that Billy dropped back to pass, you expect the pass to be completed, and you expect a first down or something near it every single time. And by the statistics, yes, it was, and it was so impressive to watch, Dima.
What would be your grade of Billy Wiles tonight, Jackson?
I'm going to give him an A. I'm not going to give him an A+ because of that pick and getting sacked twice and all that, but very close.
Yep.
Very, very close. He even with that pick, that was early in the game, and he came back and he took complete control. That was some of the best command that I've seen from a Southern Miss quarterback in a long time. And he came in, he's confident in his teammates, he's confident in himself, he's confident in his coaching. I'm going to give him an A. I think there's a little bit to be improved on, but if Billy Wiles and this offense can play like this, there are going to be few teams in the group of 5, there are going to be few teams on the schedule that can beat and few teams that can contend with this Southern Miss team.
Yeah. I always hesitate to give a player an A when they throw an interception. So I'm going to go B+ here for Billy Wiles. I think that, there were moments he looked really good tonight. There was a throw he made to Jacarius Caston on the sideline that he and Jacarius both said were their favorite play of the night that I thought was a elite throw. I thought it reminded me a lot of reminiscent of Jason Brownlee last year when they would just throw the ball up to him and he'd go up and get it. Thought Jacarius basically emulated that perfectly. Looked like Jason being number 1. But I think there were some improvements Billy could have made. We mentioned the interception. I think there was some throws he missed, some reads he missed, got sacked twice. I hesitate to look at his performance against an Alcorn State, because I want to see what he does against a Florida State. I want to see what he does against a Tulane. Would this performance tonight been enough to elevate his team to victory? And I don't know if I can answer that. 250 yards passing, you probably want more than that, especially against a better defense than what they're going to see in a couple of weeks. But I do think, like Jackson said, this is the best quarterback play that they've seen in some time now, right? So, but 250 passing yards, not the most passing yards that Southern Miss fans have seen in the past couple of years. I think Trey Lowe had more than that in the Coastal Carolina game. And then, actually Jake Lang against Rice in 2021 with like 350 yards or something like that.
Dog.
So Southern Miss fans used to seeing these kind of anomaly passing yard games from Trey Lowe and Jake Lang. But tonight, this is your guy, right? This is your consistent guy, and I think that's what made it different. So I would give him an A, but I feel like you can't give an A to someone who throws an interception. That's why I'm giving him a B+. But I still think his performance was A level worthy tonight. So I'm intrigued to see what it will look like next week against Florida State, and what it will look like against a team that has more depth, a team that has more ability to game plan for this type of offense, where you have Latrell Jones, Ja'Karius Caston, Brandon Hayes, Ty Mims, all these receivers to account for, and the talent that a Florida State or a Tulane can throw out there and combat those receivers. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how he does in the pocket, and I think that's why tonight was so good for him, because like Jackson said, Alcorn State's a very good defense. I mean, this is Will Hall even said it, the first 21 they put on the field, I mean, that's reminiscent of some Sun Belt teams. I don't think they would be able to compete, this year in the Sun Belt because of just the talent in the Sun Belt right now, but I think in some years they might be on that lower tier of the Sun Belt teams, right? So I think this is a good team, but it's not the best defense they're going to face. But I do think that Billy Wiles, seeing that defensive effort from Alcorn State, he made a mistake. He made some inerrant throws, but for the most part, I thought he looked in control, in command, running the offense. And like what Jackson said, and like we said in the past few videos, we thought it was easier to throw than run the ball tonight. Not saying that they couldn't run the ball, but rather that Billy Wiles elevated the offense that much that they could utilize the 9 different receivers that they threw to. So I say B+, he says A. A lot more of this, like Jackson said, on the podcast coming later. You can find that on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you get your podcast. Go to the website, sm2media.com, to find the post-game recap and all the photos from today. Thanks for watching.